So it's episode number 16 of Gamify 24/7. We've made it back for another week, and that makes it, 4 months of episodes? That's a lot of listening. So go and check out the back catalogue of Gamify 24/7, and then listen to this one. No, listen to this one first. Thank you for downloading, and thank you for being part of our podcast. And hello!
Hello! Hey. Welcome back.
You know, every week I try and think of something to say, but I don't prepare any of it, so that whenever I speak, it's just the next word that comes out of my mouth is the word we're going to go with. So yeah, usually it's safe, but you've got to be careful. Got to be in a good mood. Don't want any swearing on the podcast. Keep that certificate. Right, so a few things to talk about this week. First of all, I'll run through the kind of things that we're going to look at, and then, we'll take them kind of, one at a time. And we've got a few things to look at with Sega. We're going to talk about that very soon. We've got some Mass Effect potential news. Destiny. We're going to look at Destiny, the new one that's coming out. And we're going to have a general chit-chat about some of the releases that are happening soon. And we're getting just that little bit closer to the big summer events. So first of all, this week, Far Cry 5. We're hearing a little bit more about Far Cry 5 being a thing. Any of you guys been a fan of the Far Cry series so far?
I've dabbled in Far Cry 3, but it was always a game, and a little bit with Far Cry 4 as well. And it's like I just pick it up, play a wee bit, and then it's like I've always went off to something else, but I always kind of wanted to love them.
Yeah, that's 3 was the one kind of where you got to go around and hunt animals and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I started that one. It started off really strong, story-wise.
Yeah.
It was really, you got really, really into it. But because it was such an open world thing, I got really distracted by hunting animals and doing all sorts, because there's so many random occurrences as well. You can just wander about the map and random events will just happen. And I got really caught up in that and forgot what the story was, and I kind of just left it there. But it was a major improvement from Far Cry 2, I think, because I did actually I had that on 360 when that came out, and I didn't really get into that one. That's the one where you have malaria, and that's a major part of it. You've got to get malaria pills. You've got to keep getting those pills.
I find it funny. It's the exact same. I kind of got far too distracted in that game. I found it fun as a racing game just because it was a game you could drive around in, and if you screwed up, you would generally die. It wasn't easy. It wasn't like respawn. It's like, okay, I'm dead now.
It was pretty smart. I remember I just randomly came across a truck or something that had a tiger or something in the back of it, and I shot it open as these enemies drove past, and I started attacking them, and it was total chaos, but it was random and really fun. But yeah, I don't remember the story pretty much
neither.
at all.
I remember Vanos was cool, but that was about it.
Yeah.
You've got tigers and you're shooting at them and stuff.
Yeah,
that is the story.
That's fun, yeah.
Can I play this as a vegan?
I don't know. They're not real animals, if that helps.
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting. I wonder how far you could get, because you can play Zelda as a vegetarian. You can actually do the game and not be a hunter whilst playing Zelda. But with Far Cry, not sure.
Does it count when you're killing a bokoblin though?
Oh, that doesn't count. We all want to kill them, even vegans. No, I like the look of Far Cry generally. I've never got into the games. I've had a shot of. I played. Was it 3 on the 360 or 2 on the 360? Were they both on the 360?
Yeah, 2 was the malaria one. That's how I remember it.
I think it was 3 that I had
You'd
a shot.
remember the malaria.
I definitely remember that. And I do actually like the idea of a Far Cry game. I think it looks like looks great. They always look great, the Far Cry games. I like the open world element of it. There are kind of rumours that this one could be heading to 19th century America for a spaghetti western, apparently.
Really?
So, I quite like the idea of that, I've got to say. But it's a bit of a departure.
To see a franchise that actually jumps around the setting. It isn't the same thing over and over again. Because that's a good thing with Far Cry. Because the last one was Primal. So that was the back of the dinosaurs and stuff. And then one before that is just in modern day. Yeah. It's quite nice and refreshing to see a franchise jump about a bit.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile. Is it a new game? It has to do something like a little bit different. So,
well, the only thing that I thought that might be a bit of a risk is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is approaching
that's
as well.
kind of. I was like, oh yeah, there aren't many good Western games. Then I was like, oh yeah, Red Dead 2's been announced. So
it's like a bus.
Maybe
you wait forever for one to appear and then two come at once.
Maybe they're like hoping that the Western said, "Well, there's another Western. Jump in."
Yeah. It could go. I mean, we do have that.
Westerns are the next zombie game, basically.
It could well be that that's the thing, that we find that we have a few of them arriving at the same time, so it'll be interesting. But anyway, it does look like it's happening, and Far Cry 5 is likely to be, in terms of release date, probably 2018 we're looking at. Likely PS4, Xbox One, PC probably. I don't see us seeing it before then. I really don't see that happening. And Far Cry Primal, well, that was only 2016, wasn't it? It wasn't that long ago.
Don't know.
So we'll see. I'd imagine that we'll see.
Yeah. I think that was 2016. Yeah.
Was that Far Cry 4? Was that what that one was, or what was 4?
4 was a different. 4 was the person in the pink suit who was trying to be all. Yeah,
yeah. All right, yeah. No, I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was last year.
Where you can finish the game just by sitting at the table, and he goes away, and then comes back, and you finish the whole game.
Really?
Yeah, you can just sit there, and what's meant to happen is when he leaves, you're meant to try and escape or whatever, and then it carries on the story.
Okay.
If you just sit at that table, he comes back in eventually after an hour or something. He's like, "Oh, you're still here. All right, cool." He finishes.
Really?
That's great. That's cool. I love that. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but I like it. It's cool. Far Cry 5 then, we'll look out for that. 2018, I think, expect Ubisoft to do some announcing at E3, probably. I would have thought that's when we'll see it, so we shall see. It could get me, I've now, especially after playing Zelda, funnily enough, I've got more of a desire to play more open world, open-ended games, because I always get a little bit intimidated by them. There's too much to do. It's just such a big scale of a game, and Zelda's kind of reminded me that you can play them and you don't necessarily need to kind of do everything. You don't necessarily need to follow the story. You can go and do other things if you want and still have a great experience. So I am interested to see what they do with this, and I hope that it is good. But it might just be Red Dead Redemption that I go for instead. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're looking today or this week at some of the news, and Sega are looking at reviving some of their major IPs. Now, this could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the big one, you guys know what I'm into, with the Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. So I'm really hoping they did originally plan to bring Phantasy Star Online 2 to the West, and then for whatever reason, it never came. I think it came out in the Vita, didn't it? But maybe in Japan, I don't know. But yeah, that game, it looked really cool, and I was hoping to bring it over. So I'm hoping they'll go back and they'll revisit that. And then there's obviously games like you guys again know what I'm into, Shenmue and stuff. The remasters of Shenmue 1 and 2 potentially, especially with Shenmue 3 about to come out at the end of this year, hopefully, unless it's delayed. But yeah, there's loads of games, maybe they'll go back and do some Alien work again for the Alien franchises and do an actual proper one and not screw it up with Gearbox this time. Maybe do an actual really, really cool one. There's so many games, they've got so many franchises that were Dreamcast era and Mega Drive era that they could bring back, that'd be amazing.
Not even that, there's, even in some of the, not as good consoles like the Saturn, we still had Nights into Dreams and the whole series of Virtua games, Streets of Rage, Crazy Taxi. There's so much to go off there.
Yeah. You Sega?
It's Sega's Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Sonic, we've got Sonic.
Gotta go
the two
fast.
versions of Sonic. So.
Yeah, I like Sonic, so.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk a bit about Sonic because there's some new gameplay footage as well of Mania, so we're going to talk about that in a moment. There's a couple of other ones then. If I run through a couple of Sega titles, you can tell me if you'd like to see this being revived.
Ka-ching.
Virtua Fighter.
Yep.
That's a yes. Jet Set Radio.
I remember that on Xbox actually.
Yeah,
Jet Grind Radio in Japan, but anyway.
There you go. Streets of Rage.
Team Sega.
Shining.
Never played it.
Shining Force.
Past year.
Was it Saturn?
Possibly,
I think that was a Saturn game, wasn't it?
There was the first couple were on Mega Drive, but I don't think everyone made it to the West.
Yeah, I think it's like Phantasy Star, the old games were back on the old consoles, and then you had the online versions which were brand new, so
Yeah. Well, we've got Shining Force. Sorry, I just said that. Dragon Force is the other one. That was on the Saturn. And Outrun, which is an oldie. I would love it if they brought back Outrun and did a decent job of it. If they offer something different, though, like, was it the Xbox, was it Outrun that they introduced the concept of creating huge crashes? That wasn't Outrun. What was that? That was Burnout. But if they could do something like that, and bring a unique element to it, I might be quite because I'm not a massive racing game player, but if there's something unique about it, I'll go for it. I'll never be like a racing driving sim kind of guy, you know. But Space Harrier, do you remember Space Harrier?
Yeah, I remember
Sean
that.
will remember Space Harrier.
What's funny is I was never a big massive fan of it. I think, you know, you look at something like Star Fox, it was just a much better game. So that kind of going into the screen, flying around, and I suppose like Space Harrier, and what was the other one? There was another one as well. What was the other one that was like that with a guy? I'm
trying to remember. The thing, Space Harrier, for me, was a similar thing. It looked great at the time. It didn't play that well. It was okay. It wasn't brilliant. So they would have to do something unique about it to make it interesting. Phantasy Star, though, is one that I would be keen to, especially, funnily enough, since you did your retro section on it, that really piqued my interest, and I would be definitely keen to see that. There is rumours that they're going to be doing some renewing on some of the current stuff that's out, so more Persona stuff, more Yakuza, more Warhammer, that kind of stuff. Football Manager, which is always good for me. But yeah, so keep an eye out and see what's happening. Again, could we see something at E3 perhaps from Sega in terms of those kind of announcements?
Just to ask,
I guess every single rumor we see right
on
now.
the Switch. like Jane, because like I think that's a franchise that if Sega's going to be revamping things or redoing things, that's a perfect opportunity. The Vita's kind of dying off now, and the Switch is like the hot thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if they've got a version in the works for that, or potential.
Well, are you trying to say, like, if Persona 5 came out on the Switch, would I get a Switch?
Would it tempt you? Because it's portable.
If it wasn't already on the PlayStation 4 and I didn't already have it on the PlayStation 4.
I thought the biggest thing you liked was
I know, I do mean, I miss that so much about it, because I think I would get so much more done if I could just carry it about with me. But if I already had a Switch, then I'd probably be like, oh, yes, definitely, that's going to be great to replay it on that. But I'm not going to buy one just
Do you think if something like that came out for the Switch, it would be a big seller, like to people who have got Switches
I think so.
Like to buy that game?
Yeah, because it's such a highly rated game. I think Switch owners are at the moment, especially if they could like port it and everything right now. Switch owners are looking for that next thing after Zelda. Once everyone's finished, I'm kind of thinking, what would your next option be, really? And I think a big RPG like that would definitely satisfy that hunger you'll have for another big 100-hour plus game.
If it came out on the Switch, I would definitely go for the Switch version over PlayStation 4 for that very reason that Kat's talking about. So, for me, it would be a really good thing if they did. So, moving on then, Sonic Mania. Are you excited for a new Sonic game?
The two Sonic games this year are the only two games I've got on my definitely to buy pile. Really? I'm generally really excited. Like, Sonic Mania is just my childhood in a box, shaken up and then thrown out there.
Regurgitated.
Yeah, that's the word. And I can take it on the go with me. I can take off the Joy-Cons and do co-op. I'm generally so excited. It looks gorgeous.
I'm just worried that it looks too much like the originals.
See, I've been burned so many times with the Sonic franchise. Well, my favourite franchise. So for Safe Game, and it's made by I forgot his name. It's a man in the modding community, and he's done a bunch of like hacks and fan
Was it
ROMs.
the guy that done the one for the 90s arcade racer and the Sonic one as well? But he done it with really, really nice looking graphics and stuff.
No. He just mainly does ROM hacks for Sonic community. He's really big, and he's also ported for Sega Sonic 1, 2 and CD perfectly. Not even ported, like he rebuilt them from the ground up.
Right.
So he knows his stuff. So I'm kind of less excited from Sega's doing it. I'm like, this person in the community is the perfect person to be making a new Sonic game.
I just wish, like, something like Sonic, for instance, I don't understand why it's so difficult for Sega to get this right. You know, like, if this guy's working on this game and it's the old retro-style version of Sonic, that's fine. But why can you not make that same game but just add modern graphics on it? I mean, you can still have the same platforming, the same like mechanics. It just looks modern. You know, there was a guy that, like, a different modder, I forgot what his name is now, but he did like a mod, and it was just one level of Sonic on Green Hill Zone, and had all the plants. It was all in 3D. It was all like moving around and looking really loads of energy and seemed colourful. It looked really, really cool. And I just thought, why do you not have the game like that, like an old retro version, but in that style? But it's like they can't seem to get that right.
I think for me, like, I'm a big Sonic fan, and like Anton, grew up with Sonic, and I'll be definitely getting Sonic Mania for that reason. And you know, completing Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 in the Mega Drive were two things that I did on a regular basis and repeated many times, to the point where it was probably a bit weird for anyone coming in. So the other game, the other game this year, the other Sonic game, is the Sega one, which is Sonic Forces, which looks interesting. And I think, for me, what they need to do is take inspiration from Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I think if they could utilise the good things from Sonic Adventure with the classic kind of feel that we haven't had from a Sonic game in a long time, apart from maybe the downloadable ones, what was it, the Sonic 4 Part 4 or whatever it was called. I can't remember what they called it, but that was quite cool. That was quite fun. But I would love to see another Sonic Adventure style game, and I have to say that the clips on the gameplay so far look quite good with Sonic Forces. I'm a bit concerned that it's going to be like Sonic 2006 all over again, but it does look promising. But that for me would be the way to go. Like, I would be going for the Dreamcast Sonic Adventure type approach.
See, that's the thing, but that Sonic, like, to me, that looks like just another typical rehash of Sonic. It looks pretty, but it's going to have the same flaws where you're jumping into the screen, you get stopped all the time and all that crap. The visual side of it is what I like about it, but that's always the case with some of the modern Sonics. The visual side of it looks nice, but the gameplay and the mechanics are terrible. I just wish they could take the graphics and put it into the old version. You know, that'd be amazing.
I think that's probably the fear of competing with Sonic Forces, because in Sonic Forces we've got 3 different gameplay styles. We've got classic Sonic, so you play 2D Sonic but with modern graphics.
Yeah.
So they obviously, I think their fear is to compete with that. On the other side, we've obviously got modern Sonic, which hasn't had a proper game. It's like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Color style Sonic.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, we don't know what this third gameplay style is, but there's rumours, what Mike will be happy about, that this will be Dreamcast era Sonic. So 3D, open world, kind of adventure, kind of discovering the world, but obviously that's not confirmed. That's just a kind of theory.
You know, like I'm going on about the graphics here, like I'm some sort of kind of graphics, so I'm not really. Like, I want the gameplay to be the fundamental thing, but I just want it to look nice. What I'd really like Sega to do, or whoever's making the game for Sega or whatever, what I'd really like Sonic Team to do is do what they did similar to Wonder Boy. Is you have the switch where you can flip it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have that old retro style, but if you want to, you can flip it to like a modern version of those graphics that looks amazing. But you can just go with whatever you choose. Maybe that's what they're going to do, something similar to that.
That would be cool.
That'd be quite cool, because people seem to be loving that. You know, Street Fighter apparently looks a little bit more like a Flash-based game, but Wonder Boy done it really well, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, my worry for them going down the route of going down the Dreamcast Sonic Adventure type route, whilst I would love them to do that, they have to do it well, because I really believe that if they mess this one up, I don't know if they're going to come back again.
But we've said this for years.
For a while.
We've said this for years.
Yeah.
They've screwed up about 10 games in a row.
I know. The best ones probably were some of the DS Sonic titles. There were a couple of titles on the DS that were actually really good, but they again were kind of using that Mario trick of 2D with a couple of 3D elements thrown in, you know, and that works well. That's where it's safe Sonic. It's never really translated that brilliantly to 3D, although I do still think Sonic Adventure is probably an exception to that. So, yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. It's been a long time since people have been excited about Sonic games, and it's kind of fun to have two Sonic titles that people are actually excited about.
All it just needs several levels with big fishing. We're jamming.
10 out of 10.
And they gave like one of the characters big. He was just like a fish guy.
He was a cat. He went fishing for frog.
He went fishing just like that. Was it. There was a whole section of the game was just so boring.
Yeah, you had like 7 gameplay styles. You had Sonic, which was fast-paced action. You had Tails flying around. You had Knuckles climbing up walls, and then you just had fishing.
That sounds amazing.
There was like a fishing rod, like I said, which you could get for it and use it with that. And
that's cute.
That is the game that I'll sell.
I like that idea.
Okay, so other news then is that we're going to be seeing very soon some gameplay from Destiny 2. That's on the way in the next few days. Possibly by the time you're listening to this, we'll have seen some gameplay. And Destiny 2, based on kind of what the first game offered, but hopefully doing it so that people want to keep playing it and, and don't put it down after 3 days. So, Destiny 2, are we excited about the prospect of this?
No.
Yeah, same, no.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, and I was going to be like, all right, on you go then.
It's just another shooter. You know, when Destiny 1 came out, the first one, I downloaded the demo for the Xbox 360, no, the Xbox One, whatever it was anyway. I downloaded it and I played it for about 4 or 5 hours, just the very first shot of it, and it was alright. But as soon as I stopped playing it, that was it. I wasn't even interested in coming back to it. I
didn't even try it, but somebody kindly bought me it for PS4. The Taken King version also, might I add.
Nice.
It is still in the wrapping.
Wow.
That is how little I care, and I feel quite mean saying that, so I'm really sorry I've not played it, but...
I think it's just one of these games, we're kind of overwhelmed now with shooters, and unless it's doing something unbelievably unique or new, it's just another shooter. It's just another Call of Duty.
I've got Overwatch. That's my online shooter.
At least Doom did something. You know what I mean? Doom brought something back, and it totally changed it, and it was done really really well, fan service. But I just didn't think Destiny's really doing anything. It's not got enough of a history.
One problem that I see for Destiny 2 is that if you remember the development time of Destiny, it went on forever. I mean, there was so much talk about Destiny before it happened, and look what the end result was. A good-looking game with not necessarily the substance that people wanted. How do they then suddenly make Destiny 2 so much better with such a short time since the first one came out, when they spent so long not getting the first one right? So that's my problem with it, is that it doesn't seem, unless they had ideas already that they were developing for the first one that they decided they didn't need, and then maybe they've rethought that. It's a lot of work to put right what went wrong with the first one in a short space of time, is it not?
In hope of it, the multiplayer, the whole game of Destiny has been completely revamped through the expansion passes, and the game now what we've got is completely different. Like, I remember even jumping from in between Taken King and the Iron one, they completely changed the game, and that was like, they had already changed the game with Taken King. So they have been completely switching up the Destiny formula. So I think they have a lot of improvements that they now understand their community and how it works. What's a shame, because I'm actually the one person here, I actually quite like Destiny. I just didn't have people to play it with. You have to play that in multiplayer. I've actually bought the game twice and have a limited edition. I just don't have people to play it with.
So, I take it it's got a single offline campaign?
No, can't do it single player.
Why is games not making sure that's a fundamental thing for a game? Have even just a basic story that you can play by yourself. Then if you want to go online, cool, it's extra.
Some games make it work though. Like Overwatch is purely online, and I'm happy with that.
But I'd still like it if I had a single player game. I'd probably play it. I didn't play much online games.
No, it's not got a single. It's just online, but I still really like it, and which is weird for me because I also like a single player campaign, but something about Overwatch just works.
And it's also, the thing about Overwatch that's done really well is that it's kept people interested. Every time they bring in new characters, they'll bring someone. There's a story to the online environment. And it's not the same as a single player campaign, but they've done that really well. They've actually kept people wanting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's such a weird fan base who make up stories, I feel, as well. Like, I don't know if they're making it up or if it's canon or what, but yeah, it works.
Wasn't there a rumour that with the original Destiny that they actually had a completely different story, and something happened during development where they had to change it all up, and that's why the first Destiny wasn't really quite as what people were expecting? And maybe that's where the Taken King or whatever, and maybe Destiny 2 is actually going back to where that original story came from. But I think there was also the stuff at the start remember when Peter Dinklage did the voice?
Oh yeah.
And everyone had a backlash about that as well because they thought he sounded really boring. You know, and I think there was that massive hype. Bungie, the guys who made Halo, made such an epic game. We're making this brand new online massive multiplayer game. It was going to be like the greatest thing ever. It was a 10-year deal, £500 million, and then we had stars from Game of Thrones doing the voiceovers, and then a little by little things started kind of started going a little bit awry. It was like the voice wasn't quite that good. It wasn't quite as amazing when they'd done like the demos, the beta tests and stuff. And you know, I think there was just that realization that it wasn't Bungie's best work, or wasn't really living up to what people expected. But maybe Destiny 2 will be everything we hoped for. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Again, I haven't played Overwatch. I just hear so much about it, and I'm actually tempted as an online game. You talk about online only. I don't mind the idea of having an online game if it's going to hold interest and it's going to make me want to come back. So, Kat, should I be going and buying Overwatch?
Yeah, like I do really like it for that. It's something you can just pick up whenever you kind of feel like that's what you want to do. Like I just put on music really loudly and just play it. Like I don't even have to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
That's my problem though, is that I haven't got the skill level for online.
But that's the good thing about Overwatch is like you're not limited to just like 3 different kinds of character or whatever, and you're not kind of constantly waiting to collect money or tokens or whatever to upgrade your weapons, which is kind of like Battlefront. You're kind of constantly like playing for longer so you can get better guns because the people with the better guns keep killing you, and it's really annoying. But in Overwatch, there's such a wide range of characters that whatever kind of playstyle you've got, you'll find somebody that complements that for you. So the longer you keep playing as this character, you'll figure out the maps, where the best places for you to go, whether you're better at defense or attack, everything like that. And the weapons don't change, kind of the abilities don't change. You just kind of, you can mix it up and stuff. It's really fun. Like playing as a new character you've never played as before, because you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how this character works, and you can sometimes just write them off straight away. Like some of them, I just should never play as those ones. Like sniper characters, I should just never do it. But like D.Va is my main character, so I'm a D.Va main. You can say that as well, and people will know what you're talking about if you say I'm a something main.
See, I'm kind of worried like Michael though, because there was a video I watched. It was IGN were playing it, and one of the developers of the game was criticising their gameplay, just like watching them play it as a team. And I watched it, and to me it seemed like a really ridiculous skill level. Like the guys who are playing this on a regular basis, they've worked out all the animations, they've worked out tactics for like team plays and maps and everything. I thought, that's like my biggest nightmare with online games, is going into it as a total noob and try to play a game and everyone's like...
You'll be probably matched with people of a similar level at first anyway. But
and that is the thing that actually appealed to me as well. As much as I'm terrified, like Shaun, of being the idiot that ruins it for everyone.
I never said an idiot.
You get it though. You just get it, and there's always somebody who's like a lower level than you as well. Like,
yeah, I think that's the thing of what that appealed, was the fact that everybody has a different role, and it's quite unique in that way that people actually have to kind of work together to a point. And in some ways, it takes a little bit of the pressure off as being the guy that, because in traditional shooters, it's like every man for himself. As much as you're a team, you kill as many people as you can.
Yeah,
Whereas
you've got to play objectively, definitely. Like, I will sit by the payload if I can. I know I'm not getting as many kills maybe, but if I'm defending the payload, I am defending the payload. Like, I play objectively and it's more fun. Yeah. Or like I can be a healer as well. I like being Mercy. I like going and healing everybody because I feel like everyone's very grateful for it. Everyone makes sure to thank me and stuff. It just feels, it's just nice. Like, I'm just like, yes, I did a good job and I didn't even have to kill anybody. I just saved everyone.
Check this out. Definitely going to check this out for real. Is it still full price just now, or has it come down in price at all? Or
I'm not too sure. They sometimes have free weekends, like events. I know they do it on PlayStation and Xbox. I know though I play it on PS4, and I also don't use a headset because I don't want to talk to them, and it's probably worse tactically for me to do that because when I kind of because D.Va's like ultimate. Or alt, as you will get into the lingo, is like I can go in with my big mech suit and if I'll press triangle, then I'll jump out of it and the mech will explode, killing like everybody in the vicinity. So if I'm on attack, like my team's attacking somewhere that's being defended quite well by like Bastion, who's really difficult, he's like a turret character, and loads of other people are all just like defending this area, I'll just, when my ultimate's charged, just, like fly in, jump out the mech, run away, they'll all get blown up. That's when the whole team can then come in and take that zone. I'd like to tell people to do that. I always go follow me when that's happening and my ultimate's charged, but without like a microphone I can't actually say it to people. But on the flip side of that, I've heard on PC, from people who play on PC, that they are a very unforgiving lot in chat-wise, so prepare to be insulted a bit more heavily when there is a text chat. Because on PS4 there is no text chat, so I can't see them call me an idiot or anything.
So kind of sitting there thinking, I've done a cracking job, guys, you better
I know, I'm like, I'd probably go and
play
play the game off somebody just from my ultimate, where someone else has been actually like skilled at doing things. I just come in and blow people up at the end and that's me.
I would take the bait straight away. I'd be like in fights, and I'd break the controller. I just know it would be a terrible decision to have the headset on, but I'm almost tempted as well because I do like a bit of confrontation from time to time, so it could be good fun. Awesome, Overwatch. Okay, I'm going to go through a few of the releases that are coming out later in the year. There's just a handful to see if any of these are exciting to you, and I'll tell you what format as well and roughly when they're coming out. So the first few coming out in June. Just going to mention a few. Obviously, last week we went through some of the May releases, but these are the kind of ones that we know of. I think we're going to get a much heavier amount of games very soon because we've got E3 not that far away. So, first of all, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One coming out on June the 2nd. We have Tekken 7. Anyone interested in that?
I could well be. I like a wee bit of Tekken.
Yeah, Tekken's a game. It's like I won't go out and be like super hyped for it, but when
I
I
wouldn't
play
like
it, I enjoy
pre-order
it.
or
It's
anything.
fun.
Yeah. Whenever I get the opportunity, it's fun. Button mashing. I don't know any of the buttons for fighting games ever.
Same. It's a great button masher. Like you don't really need to master like Street Fighter. I would say you can't.
But what
really
annoys me is when you're playing against somebody like you've been playing it yourself for a while and you're like, I kind of have a grasp of this, and then you just invite someone or someone's over at your house or whatever, and you're like, oh, have we fight in Tekken or something. And they were like, oh, I don't know, I don't play many games. And you're like, oh, you'll be fine, thinking, this will be good for me. And they win, because they're better at mashing buttons than you.
The worst one of that is on the Wii U, you can map your like combos to the touchscreen. So you'd invite somebody over, give them the touchscreen, they're like, oh, I'm fantastic, as they just smash the touchscreen. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, oh, he's just pressing buttons, that's what you're doing. I'm like, please.
Don't ever give the guests the touchscreen then.
Isn't Tekken 7 the one that's got Akuma from Street Fighter in it as well? They've got as a guest character. Akuma's in this one. I think he is.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a crossover. They've got him in it.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think they partnered up where they'll do 2 crossover games, Tekken versus Street Fighter and Street Fighter versus Tekken. But then Street Fighter versus Tekken failed and got very badly received, and then they cancelled Tekken. So I imagine they're probably play good now and be like, yeah, we'll still have a crossover, wink.
Another release for you then, same week, June the 6th though, The Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind's coming out on PS4, Xbox One and PC.
I'm not really into MMORPGs, so I never really wanted to do that. That like the Elder Scrolls for me is single player RPG experience that I play myself, and it's fun for just me. So none of that for me, thanks.
Okay, June the 30th, we've got the Crash Bandicoot N.Sane trilogy coming out. I'm quite looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to it as well. It's been a while. Like my flatmate in halls, this was probably about 8 or 9 years ago or something, had a PS2, and we played Crash Bandicoot, like the first one on that. And I was surprised how well your muscle memory reacts to that pig level. You know, the one where you ride on the little hog? I remember the tune, it's in my head, right? that one, and I got it in a oneer, and I could never do that as a kid, but I just, my head just worked for that level. And the one where you run away from that big boulder, Ripperoo, all of it.
I've only had a shot at it. I've never really played the games, so
so much fun, and I've seen kind of some gameplay of it, and it looks really nice.
Very briefly, but I've never played an actual full game.
I really want Crash Team Racing though. Like, why isn't that happening?
Crash Team Racing, but for that I don't want a remake of it. I don't want them just to kind of remaster it. I want them to make a new version of it, Crash Team Racing, but use the original kind of vibe of it, because that was a great racing game, by the way. It was
so good. I had nightmares about one of the characters, which makes it good though, because it obviously affected me deeply. The one who was like half a nuke. He was called Dr. N.Sane. He was like half a nuke, half a man. Yep. I had a nightmare about him.
We seriously do need more kart racers, because Mario Kart's getting a little lonely there, and I feel like we need some more competition.
Crash Team Racing was so good.
Diddy Kong Racing, again, I never played that, but apparently that was amazing.
More Diddy Kong. We could have, let's say, another Little Big Planet karting. That was a good game.
See, the Sega All-Stars was very good.
Oh, actually, I really liked that, yeah.
That was very good. I had both the one and the redone one as well, and there was a problem. The second one, I found there was that annoying thing that you sometimes get with animated kind of racers, in that there was a difficulty curve that suddenly hit quite far in. You'd get so far, and then suddenly there was this thing where you just couldn't beat whoever it was. It just jumped from being really enjoyable and challenging to ridiculous. And the first one didn't have that. Mario Kart doesn't really have that. 200cc arguably, but the new one,
blue shells that get you right in the line.
Oh yeah, but that's just frustration when you're just crossing the line. But that was the only thing with the second one. There was quite a frustrating, and it was annoying. It wasn't like Mario Kart where it was endearing but annoying. It was just annoying. And the first one was brilliant though, and in fact both games were brilliant. That was the only thing that really got me. But yeah, I'll be up for that. I'll be up for Crash Team Racing. I'll bring that back for sure. That would be good. PlayStation 4, July the 11th, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age.
Crickets, chirping. No thanks. I've not played any Final Fantasy though, so that's embarrassing. But
I think if I was, I'd be picking up 15, because that got well received. So I'm like, this one that nobody's really talking about, I'm like, yeah, I'll give 15 a go, give 7 a go. Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
One more for you later in the year then, and then just maybe a couple of rumours on games. This is one for you, Kat. Danganronpa version 3 Killing Harmony on the PS4 and Vita.
I'm so excited for Danganronpa. Yeah, I've stayed away from the anime and everything because I don't want to know anything about it. I hide it all. Like, I'm so excited for it. That's September, isn't it?
Yeah, September. Yeah. I'll give you the exact date. It's September the 26th.
Yeah, 20-something. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I've got several Monokumas. If you played Danganronpa,
somebody recommended the same game, the previous one, to me just the other week, and I was able to say, well, I know all about that game. Well, I know that it's a game now, thanks to Kat.
Yeah, there's both 1 and 2 are absolutely amazing, and they're kind of visual novel, kind of courtroom style games. Like, you
love it.
Investigate, you kind of put together clues, and then there'll be like a courtroom type of scene. But the story is so good.
Objection!
It's kind of Ace Attorney style in that way, yeah. But there's also another episode, is what it's called, Danganronpa, another episode, Ultra Despair Girls. That's a different style of game. That's more like a third person I don't want to say shooter, but it is a bit.
I really want to see a list of all our upcoming games that we're looking forward to, because ours I think would be quite normal, like normal names, Shenmue and stuff like that. Shenmue's the
I know, I was going to say that. What's that mean?
Shenmue,
I'll take my Phantasy Star Online, but I think Cats would just be like, oh, it's your Japanese names and stuff.
Absolutely, but I have to say though, that having never having played Persona until this year, I am very interested in Danganronpa from what you've said, and from loving the Persona experience as well. I know that they're not similar, but I've kind of got into the art style and the kind of feel as well, and the differences. So I'm quite keen to try this. Are you going to go for the PlayStation 4 version or the Vita version though?
I really want to go for the Vita version. I know maybe that's controversial. But I, again, like just being able to carry it about and stuff. And it's not like a big major thing. I don't feel like I need a full controller for it, because you aren't actually controlling the character like that.
Who makes it?
It's Spike Chunsoft.
Oh, Chunsoft,
yeah. Yeah. It's them. So
I picked up a second PlayStation Vita this week because the other one's officially my other half's. So I picked up one primarily so I could play games on my own account, and also so that I could second screen if I'm playing, like, particularly Telltale games, because Telltale games, it doesn't matter if you're on a Vita or a big screen, it makes no difference.
Yeah, that's kind of like Danganronpa as well. Yeah. Yeah,
so basically with, I think I picked up secondhand for 50 quid. It was a Vita. It's the 3G one as well, which I won't use, but it's cool. And it had a card in there. It had a little Big Planet and still inside. The cart was there, and yeah, it's cool. So I picked up a Vita. So I might go for the Vita release of that. That might be quite a nice thing to have.
You should try and pick up 1 and 2 definitely, because they're going to be the same style game. You don't really need another episode one.
And they're both Vita then, so I could pick up one of those.
You can get them on the PSN store. Usually they will be in the sale because they're so highly rated on there, along with Steins Gate, which is always on sale as well.
You need to give me a list, Kat. I need to get a couple of games for myself.
I would say, firstly, play Danganronpa if that's your first kind of visual novel style of game that you're going to get into, because that'll kind of test how far you're willing to go in not controlling your character that much. Because Steins Gate, for example, is like a true visual novel. Yep. And that the only way you're really controlling anything is through text messages.
Hey, I used to have, genuinely, I used to have visual novels for real. So, like, they're just called books. No, you put them in them. And you would have to make decisions, and it would be like, if you want to go down the path with the evil imp, then go to page 56.
I had Goosebumps ones for those when I was a kid.
Those Goosebumps, that's right.
But I think it just frustrates some people who are used to a lot more interactive gameplay when they start trying to play visual novels. But the story of them are usually like so worth it. Like Steins Gate especially is so worth it. At first I was kind of like, okay, I'm just reading and reading and reading and reading. But that doesn't matter towards the end of it. I cried. There's about 5 different endings. I cried at all of them, so it's totally worth it. I cried at both Danganronpas as well, so there you go.
I'm gonna go and check out the 1 and 2 first of all, and I know that I'll like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thing. Okay, a couple of releases that we've talked about, so we don't really need to talk about these right now, but things that just to keep our kind of mind aware that they are coming. And very exciting too, we've got Super Mario Odyssey, which is very exciting on the Switch for us Switch people. We've got Splatoon 2 on the Switch, which we're very excited about. South Park: The Fractured But Whole, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I'll be getting that. Apparently, you'll get the download code for the last one as well.
Nice.
Stick of Truth, which I think I have on every console for some reason, but I'm going to get it anyway.
So funny.
It's brilliant. Sonic Mania, of course, we talked about. Shenmue 3, we're looking at PlayStation 4 and PC as a release. And given what Shaun has told us about Shenmue on the Dreamcast, and the fact that having watched some of it on YouTube now and wishing I had it on the Dreamcast, I think I'll probably be tempted by that. You know, it does look quite insanely good, so that'll be good. Unless, of course, they make a mess of it, but they won't. Red Dead Redemption 2, we've talked about. A couple more for you. Friday the 13th, the game. I don't know if any of you guys... We talked about that briefly, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've got Skyrim on the Switch as well, which I'm interested in because I've not played through Skyrim yet, and I think a Switch would be a good way to do it. And then Cuphead is the other one that I'm quite excited about, but that's Xbox One or PC.
Good,
I'm just kind of sitting here after like putting $100 in Zelda. I'm like, all these $100 games. I'm like, I'll maybe throw through maybe like a couple short games first and then go into a big adventure game.
So this is my problem. Like I mean, for me to finish Zelda, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be in the Zelda world until 2020. The next 2 games will be out, and I'll still be trying to get, like, honestly, it's such a hard task particularly when you're going through a really busy period. The great thing about games like that is if you get some time off, it's great to get into them and to lose a bit of,
it's nice to have that to look forward to, though.
True.
To always having something like that in the back burner, something you know is a really good game, and you're like, when I've got free time, it's going to be so good.
Straight in the bath with the beans.
Oh, absolutely.
See, that would, for Switch reasons, then there you go. That would be really handy for me, the gamer who likes to multitask by doing things in the bath, like eating dinner and watching TV and reading books. So, if I could play games like that in the bath, then
just don't drop
more's
it.
the better. Yeah, of course.
Living
Oh my god.
the dream.
All right, let's move on then to the retro section, and we are Retro Cat this week, I believe.
Retro
No?
me. It is
Retro
actually
Cat.
Retro me this week.
Awesome.
I felt like you all had to do it except me because it's my turn, but okay.
Kat, before you do that, I don't know if you saw, we have for those that are listening, we've got a wee chat that we have. And we talk about things during the week, and I've been trying to remember James's suggestion for Kat's review section for bad games, and James, who listens, his suggestion was that it could be Cat's Litter.
Yeah,
Cat
I
litter.
love that idea. And I've got something for you for that this week. Anton challenged me to a game of, well, I
Cat
think
Litter.
yeah, in Cat Litter this week we have Flanders Killer 7.
It sounds
The
amazing.
revolution goes on.
Yeah, it's as it sounds, a game where you have to kill Ned Flanders and his entire family as Homer Simpson. So I played that, all 23 rounds of that.
Oh,
I got to the end.
done.
I beat Devil Flanders.
Good stuff.
I'm so proud.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a flash game. So I wasn't expecting anything too complex. Basically, if you're a fan of Simpsons, I guess you'd like it. I enjoyed that there were lots of songs from The Simpsons over the years. I didn't enjoy that there were 23 rounds of it though, because I didn't understand why there needed to be that many. Because literally all it was about was that I was Homer Simpson and I had to kill Ned Flanders and his family. So I was killing his children and his wife for
Just getting the voices in my head,
23 rounds. Yeah, they did the voices, like mainly Flanders sound bites, especially when you shot him. I can't remember what he said though, it was really annoying, whatever it was. But they'd have like, each round would be set in a different place in Springfield, and they'd all pop up all over the place, and there'd be some other character like Barney or whatever that I wasn't allowed to shoot or I'd lose points, or Mr. Burns or I'd lose my job. But like, it didn't have any consequences or any, it didn't make me feel happy about doing any of it. Not because I was killing children, but because I just didn't, it didn't feel like I was being rewarded by anything. Like, it just wasn't a good game. So I guess that was the whole point in it, and I really don't understand how that's the 7th one. What were the other 6 about?
Yeah.
Just
Are they
another
the
23
same
levels
game?
times 7.
Pretty much,
Because
yeah,
there
they're really
aren't
simple.
that many places in Springfield that you can go to kill Ned Flanders and his family, surely. And there can't be that many different stories about why you're killing Ned Flanders and his family. This time it was about clones that the aliens made of Ned Flanders' family. That's why there was 23 rounds. But why? What are the other stories? Why am I killing Ned Flanders and his family this many times?
That's a great question. Maybe when they like port them to Switch, you can try them out.
Oh,
I think
my
that's a system
Lord.
seller.
Like,
Right there.
like, if you are like really bored and that's the only thing you can play, then maybe like for 5 minutes it'd be okay. But I honestly was like, I'd rather be playing that game where you pretend to be playing pool. You know, the one where you change the cue ball and click and it shoots it off and you're trying to pot balls. I don't even like pool, and I would rather have been playing. I was thinking, God, of all the Flash games, I wish I was playing that pool game right now, because I didn't. After the first couple of times of like shooting a whole family of Simpsons characters, I just was like, I don't really care anymore.
So you recommend it then?
Game of the year.
Game of the century, yeah. Flanders Killer 7. So yeah, if anyone has any more suggestions of things for me to play, then please let me know for Cat Litter. I would like this to become a weekly thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to let's make that a weekly thing from next week. We'll have a think and get you another game.
Get me another one.
For next week, can you play Killing Ned Flanders? No, yeah, Killing Ned Flanders
E.T.
5.
5, not 6.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. No, you're not getting it. Retro section for Cat. What have you got for us
It's
this
the
week?
retro corner with me. So I am rapidly running out of legitimate retro games because I never really played any to begin with. We have this conversation every time. So I've gone for one which came out in, I believe, 2006. I know that's I believe that's not that far back because I can remember that year. I was still in school and stuff. The odd thing about this game, however, I have not actually played it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, and the
formula.
the reason that I have not actually played it is not just because I'm some kind of poser or I'm too lazy or even, I don't know. The reason is it's banned in this country. It was never released in this country.
Oh, drama.
Drama. Indeed. Controversial. So there's some excitement for everybody.
Do we get to guess?
You can't. Right, yeah, you can guess if you want. So that's a clue. It was banned. It was not released in Australia or here. There was a lot of to and fro from the EU about it, but it did get released there, and it did get released in America.
Is it Manhunt?
No. But I think that was released here, wasn't it?
Is it a war type game?
No. I don't think you're gonna get it, but I'll let you try.
2006. Oops. 1 second. You still do, Michael? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, it's just the visuals have gone. What year are we talking, Kat?
2006.
2006. What format?
I'm double checking. Just PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
You have a clue then.
That's good. I'm thinking just something Japanese.
Google it.
Yeah.
No, that's really hard. I don't know what that is.
Was it a Russian game?
It was not Russian. It was Japanese, you're right.
Japanese.
No idea.
Originally Japanese. It's called Rule of Rose. Has anybody heard of Rule of Rose?
No.
Oh, I was just about to say that as well.
Yeah, of course.
God damn it.
Yeah, Rule of Rose. So the controversy kind of comes from, it's a survival horror game, Japanese. So it's that typical kind of way where most of the time, except in cutscenes, nobody actually says anything. You know what I mean? They'll say things you can read, but they won't have voice acting. You play as Jennifer, who's like a 19-year-old British girl. You basically get on this bus on a cold and rainy evening. You're the only one on the bus except for this little creepy boy who then like gives you a storybook or something and runs off the bus, and you for some reason follow him. The bus drives away. You're in the middle of nowhere in the dark, and you're following this little boy who wants you to read him a story and stuff. You end up at this old abandoned orphanage place, and you wake up in an airship which is controlled by little girls who've got this aristocracy kind of going on, like a hierarchy and stuff, and you're basically tormented by these little girls even though you're 19. And there's imps, these scary creatures. You've got your dog who's called Brown, who you find in a shed outside the orphanage, like a dog who's yours, and your dog will find like clues and help you do stuff. Yeah, it is truly survival horror because I've watched like playthroughs of this, multiple ones, because obviously I can't play it. Technically I could, but like I didn't at the time. Jennifer's pretty useless. She can get weapons like pipes and like forks and things like that. She's not meant to be able to be good at fighting though. Right. She's quite weak and she goes ooh, ooh, and makes those sorts of noises like Japanese female teenage protagonist who's scared of everything noises. But I guess the main reason that it got banned or censored and wasn't really allowed to be released here was there was a bit of a dispute about erotic content in a game about minors. Right. Which makes it sound frankly like a pedo game, but it's not. They've taken that completely out of context. There are like kind of erotic undertones and stuff, but that's more to do with abuse and things rather than actually sexualizing children or anything like that. It's a really, really confusing story. It's really hard to explain right now to you guys what it's about without kind of ruining it, because it's so confusing anyway. Like, you'd have to literally sit and watch the whole thing, and then there's also an entire blog dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of the games because the developers were just like kept quiet about it. Okay. Because there's so much that can be left to interpretation as to what's real and what isn't, because you're in this airship, or is it an orphanage, or like what's wrong with these characters? Where are all the adults? There are boss fights with weird monsters who you think used to be adults, and it's kind of like Yeah.
It looks like Children of the Corn.
It's
creepy little kids.
They are creepy little kids, and they're horrible to Jennifer and stuff. But when you kind of get to the end of it and understand what it all sort of meant, it's just really sad and unfortunate. It's very deep.
I'm looking at some of the screenshots, and it's certainly interesting. It looks actually really well done. For PlayStation 2 as well. Obviously there are more limitations than there would be now, and it looks really
the soundtrack,
really well,
I've got to say though, is one of the best game soundtracks. It's so my style. It's absolutely gorgeous, and like string quartets and everything. It's just beautiful.
Is it kind of like from that picture? It looks like Resident Evil a little bit. That kind of sort of style. Is it a 3D sort of kind of walk around?
Yeah. It's being likened to like Haunting Ground, Silent Hill, that kind of thing.
I'm surprised with how good it looks, because you mentioned 2006. I'm like, the 360 had been out for a year, and yet they're releasing games on a year-old ancient hardware, but it actually looks quite good.
It is, and just the sounds and everything is really, really good. The story's amazing. It's really confusing and psychological, and you don't really know what's going on. But once you can kind of get to grips with it, it's really powerful, and it sticks with you because of that weird, uncanny thing of like being scared of children, even though you're an adult. That kind of thing, and it's really, really cool. The soundtrack's amazing. I have got a sealed Japanese copy.
Cool. Keep it sealed.
That sounds.
But
I just saw that they go for a reasonable amount on eBay, these games.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is that worth something then, Kat?
I don't know if it will be worth
house?
anything now. But I've got a sealed copy, so I'm like, I could try and get my hands on a Japanese PS2 to play it, or
I don't know. Did you open it up? I heard
just
there's a
leave
rumor.
it.
I heard there's a rumour once you open up that case, a little kid jumps out and he kills you. It's like The Ring. Once you open it up, you can never go back.
Yeah, you should totally. Rule of Rose. You should all look it up. It got really good reviews. It's a total shame that it never got released here, or in Australia.
Well, I'm currently on eBay, and Rule of Rose on the PlayStation 2. There are buy it now for somewhere between £100 and £300.
There you go.
Kat did have a sealed copy. It's now on eBay.
No, it's mine. I just can't. I'd take it about and keep it in my game drawer and stuff, because I'm like, I know I can never play it, but I like having it, because I'm like, I like this game even though I can't actually play it. It sounds really strange, but
No.
We need to try and find the developer or director and get it sent off to them and get them to sign the case for you. That'd be amazing.
Oh my God.
Sealed signed version of it.
Well, it was Sony Computer Entertainment in Japan who made it, Atlus in the US, and 505 Games in
I'd
Europe.
definitely keep it sealed, because in terms of the collecting world, once a game hits like 2 generations ago, like past, that's when stuff starts inflating. You have 2 generations of going down in price, and then at that point it goes back up.
Yeah.
So you're on your up climb now.
Sealed, the Japanese one.
Just to give you a little bit of context on eBay, because I've now gone to the finished listings. Sealed PAL version of it, so not the Japanese one, $249 it went for.
Yeah.
So
it's quite rare because
that's a tattoo, Kat.
And it's it's because of its controversy that's bumping it up, you know. So I would really.
Great shout.
I obviously can't just be like, oh well, yes, go out and play it, because if you're in Australia or here, you're not going to really be able to get your hands on it unless you're paying some serious money. But if you're American, by any chance, and you've got an American system, a PS2, then definitely try and give that a go. And if not, be like me. Oh. And there are plenty of YouTube playthroughs that you can watch. Like, it's got to the point now that I'll start a new watch of a playthrough of it on YouTube and hear whoever's playing be like, I don't understand what this means, and I'm just kind of starting to argue with people in the comments and that, because I actually do. I'm like, I understand it, guys. I know all these things. I know what it means, even though I've not been able to play it myself. So
what we recommend you don't do is find an emulator to play it. Don't do that.
For a moment there, when you're like, do what I did, I was like, Is this why you're going to the US? Is this the secret? You get over there, you open it up, you're like, finally.
Well, that would be quite a good idea, wouldn't it? My 2 weeks in Florida spent in the hotel room playing Rule of Rose. Dream come true.
Yeah, well, that's a great suggestion. Not a game that I knew anything about, and intrigued now. I think I'm going to go and check that out on YouTube for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
honestly, have a look. You'll love the soundtrack as well, Mike. You're into your music.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Awesome. No, that's a really good one this week, I must admit. And yeah, actually, every week I love hearing people's suggestions, and I like the fact it's getting harder now. We're having to think outside of the box as well. I like that. All right, that's it for this week then. Just before we go, Shaun, how can people get signed up and get involved and message us and whatever else?
Best thing to probably do is jump onto the facebook.com/SmallFryUnify, and all the updates will be up there. But if you're on YouTube as well, jump onto YouTube and subscribe on YouTube and turn on the notifications, the little bell, because every time we put up a podcast or an episode of Games Lounge or anything else, you'll see it and you'll get notifications. And we're trying not to spam it or anything like that. We put it up and it's like once a week or whatever, so keep an eye on that. And remember, leave us comments, so let us know what you're liking about the show, what you like to hear from cat litter.
Yeah, get me. But
things like
always
that.
bear in mind that I don't have all the consoles, so
Yeah.
just
But yeah, just send us some comments and stuff and leave us some feedback, and yeah, we'll get back to you. We'll give you a shout out on the show.
As well as that, we're fresh
Awesome.
little dogs that give shout
Fresh
outs.
out
So
dog.
if you want to tweet a new dog at us, #Gamify247.
I want a
We will
cat
review
one
your dog.
too.
Yeah, throw some cats in there.
Frozen cats, any of your pets,
Throw
actually.
some cats and dogs.
All the
Yeah,
pets.
#Gamify247.
If your pets play games as well, like video games, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that.
Oh, that's
I'd
like
be
bonus
really
points. Right there.
impressed.
That's a retweet from all of us. So, all right, that's it for this week. We will be back next week, and thank you very much for listening and for downloading, and we will see you later. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Bye.